Hey guys, greetings. What a privilege it is to be alive. We are blessed and let us not take it for granted. It is a new week and it is a wonderful day. I pray that this week and forevermore, the blessings of the Lord will be upon you for 1,000 generations, not just on you, but on your family, on your children, and their children, and their children. Amen. It's time, guys, for us to quit running around. We are in the 10th month, and so we need to tighten up a lot of loose ends. Yes, because we are about to close out 2022, and God willing, we want to go over 2023 with some new perspectives. And so we want to really quit running around in these circles because we want to establish some ground rules for our lives going forward. Because when we do this, we will save ourselves a lot of headaches, heartaches, and save ourselves from making so many mistakes that we have made already for this year. My name is America, and this is Motivations and Memoirs. Welcome. It has been a long minute. Yes, I am back from my break, and it is wonderful to be here sharing with you again. So, guys, when we narrow down our lives after the hustles and the bustles and the setbacks, we are forced to conclude the truth. And that truth we so often overlook some important aspects of life. My thought this week is 3 things that matters most. And so the first one is our relationship with God. This is one of the most important relationship that we can have. The relationship with our Creator. It is not hard to foster one. It's just for us to be principled and put things in practice, just as though we have relationship with our spouses, where we know that wherever we are going, we know where they're at, and we keep in contact. That is the same thing that we do with God. And so in doing so, He walks with us, He talks with us, and He directs us. And guess what? Our lives are made so much easier because many of the mistakes that we make when we're on our own, if we are in a relationship with God and maintain that relationship where we are listening to Him, then we, of course, will be saved. And so, Solomon reminded us that regardless of how far we try to run or hide or even deny, there's no escaping the reality. So in Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 13, he reminds us that, look here, come and listen to the whole conclusion of the matter. Everything adds up in this one thing: fear God, keep His commandments. So everything in our lives rests on this conclusion: to submit ourselves to God and keep His words. His words are not given to frustrate us or to become obstacles or to prevent our happiness, but rather to show us how we need to live our lives, how we can obtain the greatest happiness possible. And so number 2 is families. Of course, there are families and there are families, but when you have a good family, know that family is important. And whether or not your family has been good to you, family is important because they offer support. Good families offer support and security coupled with unconditional love. Good families also seek out the best in us. Seek to bring out the best in us, I should say. And so even we can't see what they're doing at times, and we feel frustrated for the most part, but we will understand down the line that, oh, they were doing it for my good. And so family provides a safe haven where after all the hustles and the bustles and the disappointments, we have a place to come back home, a place of peace. And lastly, our assignment. Ironically, I realized that last October, the end of October, going over into November, I did 2 videos. One was, what is your assignment? And the follow-up to that was understanding your assignment. The links are in the description box. You can click on them if you had missed those videos. So of course, our divine assignment is the progressive unraveling and attainment of our primary calling in life. It is simply blessing the world with the worth and quality of our personhood, and so attracting others to follow our inspiration. Guys, the Lord sums it up again when He spoke to Jeremiah in the book of Jeremiah chapter 1. Because you see, we need to understand that our assignments are unique to us. Only we can do them because God predestinated our path. So He reminds Jeremiah, you see, before you were formed in the womb. I knew you, and before you were born, I consecrated, I set you apart, and I appointed you to be a prophet to the nations. There are many of us walking around and we're trying to run and hide. But before we were conceived, before we came out of the womb, God already predestinated, He already anointed us. He already set the pace for who we are to become. And so, whatever it is that you are doing, that is your predestined assignment. And sometimes it brings you some grief and it brings you some pain, but it is still your predestined assignment. Guys, as you go out this week, let us observe 3 things that matters most. We need to check our relationship with God. We need to check our relationship with our families. Are we treating our families the way that they ought to be treated after they care for us? Are we really looking out for them? Are we really providing for them? Are we really protecting them? And lastly, our assignment. We can never escape it because God already set it that way. Have yourselves a great week. Walk good. Share this video with somebody. And remember, if you did not yet subscribe, please subscribe to Motivations and Memoirs. And I will see you next week in the next broadcast. God bless.